I can't do it anymore. I can't. It's killing me. Every time I hear these frequencies in records, in music, anywhere, I grab these guys. Pop them in. Ah, it's killing me. I'm telling you. Where do I start with this? Who is Fletcher Munson? Why do babies, these guys here, why do they make this sound that you hate? Why do dogs do this? What are we getting these frequencies from? Why do you keep putting them in your records? And why do you keep looking up how to make my vocals cut on YouTube and then just not listening? Like you're not hearing it. What are you not hearing? I want to talk about this. This is the mix series, and let's get into these frequencies. They're killing your records. They're making people put their earplugs in. Actually, shit, I just skip your song. All right, so first off, we have to talk about harsh frequencies and exactly what they are and why they are so necessary to make a great record and keep your listener listening. And also why, we're human beings and we've evolved into hating these frequencies. And for some reason, people keep putting them in their records and turning them up. All right. So these frequencies are very obvious. The Fletcher Munson curve. Who's Fletcher Munson? He's just this guy. He's basically a psychoacoustician sort of guy, right? Talked about psychoacoustics and even made a curve for us. This is the curve. This is how we're hearing things, right? And this is when you hear crispy vocals. Make my vocals crispy. Not too crispy, guys. Be careful. You guys keep asking for crispy vocals. As a mix engineer, it makes me cringe. It makes me cringe and it makes your listener cringe. Now, the Fletcher Munson curve talks about how our ears are the most sensitive in the mid-range frequencies. And I'm going to just show you this in a song I'm making, right? So I'm just going to take this little area here and we're going to loop it. And then I'm going to use this EQ, which is an awesome EQ from BX Digital. Good job, guys. You guys crushed it. But this way I can solo out frequencies and show you exactly what those frequencies are and why they are so prevalent and so your ear's so sensitive to them. Okay, here it comes. Now, every time I play that 1.5K to 6K area, there's certain peaks. Obviously, this song doesn't have too much of that, right? Because I'm very, very aware of that as I'm in a tuned room with Focal SM9, 3-way monitors, and I've been mixing and mastering for 22 years. So I'm very, very attuned to that mid-range, right? Like I'm being careful with it even when I'm producing. But that frequency area actually sometimes make my eyes water. Like I literally tear up a little bit. I'm like, God damn, that's hardcore. All right, so these are really, really important harsh frequencies to pay attention to. Why? Why are we so sensitive to these frequencies? And what happened over time that made us so sensitive? When a baby cries, right? It's right around that 2K area. And that 2K, that 2 kilohertz is literally been genetically and over time, our DNA and our ears and our eardrums has become more sensitive to it because obviously when a cougar or a mountain lion or a bear was coming to attack and a baby cried, it was like an alarm, or the baby's hungry. It's an alarm. We got to feed the baby. It's literally something that we developed, our psychoacoustics, meaning the way we hear things. It's how we developed, our bodies, our chemistry, our physicality actually developed this way over time to help protect ourselves, to feed ourselves so that we don't kill our babies. That's the best way to put it, right? Don't kill babies. So every time you guys ask for cutty vocals and you go reach for that EQ and you start cutting into the mix, bro, you're pushing that 2K, that 3K area because you think yo, my voice needs more cut, bro. You're killing babies. You literally just...
Stop it! It's my song, not yours!
But yeah, think about this. The best way, and that's what this mix series is all about. I want to give you a tip. I want to give you something that's going to help you make better records. And because you listen this far in to my bullshit, I'm going to give you this tip right here, okay? Every time you decide that you need to add something to make like you need to add an EQ or you need to push presence in the 2K, the 1K, the 3K, the 6K, 5K area, start thinking instead, what can you take away to make that seem more loud, right? What else is masking that area of your vocals or whatever instrument you're about to boost that 2K in, that 1.8K, that 3K? Get that cut, man. Every time you go to reach for that EQ and you go to push it up and boost it, think instead, what else has that 2K in it? Is it the hi-hat, the tambourine, the snare drum, the kick beater? I don't know. Anything that you can take away that 2K, that 3K area, that mid-range area that is just cutting your head off. Because here's the truth, guys. Unless you're using a very nice microphone, and even the TLM 103 can be very, very harsh. It can give tons of sibilance. Like you hear it in every single one of the things I'm doing here on this channel. Sibilance, sibilance, sibilance. It's harsh. It has harsh tones. It has boosts up in the top, high mids, right? But even this microphone costing what, $1,200 for entry, right? It boosts that area and it could be really harsh, right? So you got to be really, really careful, extra careful with that area. And just be careful with anything you're doing in that area, because you may think that it sounds good to you, but typically it's because you've been working for too many hours and your ears are compressing it, or you're in a bad room. You're not in a tuned room, which little plug here, link in the description to my Room on a Budget series, which will help you tune your room and figure out everything about acoustics, speaker placement, etc. When you go to reach for any EQ, it's because you're trying to tune to what you're hearing in your room because your ears are tired or your room's not tuned up and you're just hearing too much or too little of certain frequencies. Maybe you got too much bass happening and you're trying to get the vocals to cut more, so you're overcompensating. Your speakers are shit. You're using shitty speakers that sound like shit, so you just keep putting more into it. And just stop boosting. Start cutting more than boosting. Use headphones if you have to, right? Like ATH MX, ATH 50Xs, really highly recommend these. I'm not sponsored by any of this stuff. Nobody pays me to do any of these videos, okay? Nobody pays me. I have to pay myself. This is my business. ATH 50Xs by Audio-Technica, great, but also very, very cutty in the mid-range. But that's why they're great, right? Because they'll show you how loud that 2K area is. Also, there's a really cool plugin of the week that I did on the Soothe and Soothe 2 plugin, which is really nice for just kind of ducking that area and smoothing things out. So thank you so much for tuning in. That's the mix series. That's the mix tip for today. Study the Fletcher Munson curve. Understand how the ear works, where it's the most sensitive to what frequencies. Be careful of those frequencies. Give people that nice smiley curve, right? They want the low end and they want that top end, because why? The Fletcher Munson curve. All right, you guys, I'm done yelling at you. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Drop a like, give me some love, and click that link in the description, get a freebie from me, all right?